Lesson 101. My name is Michelle. I am your voice teacher, and I will be adjusting things and making sure that we're all happy and understanding and hearing me properly. So let's go ahead and start with what you should expect. First of all, when you are about to have your voice lesson, this is what we do here at Skylight. So I want to make sure that I forewarn you that this is only, I didn't realize that I had so many things on my chair. When you are looking for the right voice teacher, you're going to want to give whoever you decide a chance. We try to expedite that here by having you fill out a form. We know we're not for everyone, and that's okay. There are a lot of great teachers out there. Everyone, in my opinion, wants you to be amazing. And so we are amongst them, and we have our own energy about us that hopefully will resonate with you. And we are dedicated to our students. So we want students who are going to be dedicated to themselves. And so I'm hoping by giving you an idea of what lessons could be like through our channel, you can start to discern what the right teacher for you is going to be. We like having fun. You should have fun. It should be relaxed. There is a lot that goes on that needs to be communicated between a teacher and a student, and that takes time because you need to get to know one another. So let's talk first of all about finding the right teacher. Actually, we'll save that for a different video. But for our process, as far as when you are considering working with Skylight, there is a form, there's a Google form. I will put it down below. You can take a look at just a very general form, but it at least gets the dialogue going. Why are you looking for lessons now? What is it that's created that desire, that inspiration to seek guidance from somebody? That means you're willing to listen, right? And that means you're not hopefully thinking about being judged. We don't judge you. We want you to be amazing, but we are here to help. So we might point some things out, but don't take it the wrong way. For us, any teacher, we truly, truly are doing this because we care, because we want you to be amazing. So keep that in your mind. It should always be that way. Every teacher should be that way. And then you will have a conversation and hopefully find the right, be matched up with the right teacher. And that then it goes down to what your availability is and matching that. So a lot goes into that circumstance. There are requirements. And one of the requirements that we have is a 48-hour cancellation policy because we respect our teachers' time. We respect your time, and everything moves so much smoother the sooner you are able to provide notice that you may not be able to make a lesson. And then you will have a credit automatically on your account, which can be used at a time of your convenience and your instructor's convenience. That's the important part of one of the important parts, elements of starting your voice lesson. Okay, so now you're going to have your voice lesson. I'm going to skip some of the other details. We'll talk about it at a different time. Thank you for joining us. This is our studio, and let's have our first voice lesson. You will be welcomed. We will get to know you even more so than on the form. We'll have that form. We'll get to know you. We'll probably have a conversation or two, either by phone or email. Again, getting to know you because we want to make sure that you're happy. We also want to make sure that we cultivate a curriculum that suits you, your needs, your personal goals and desires. That is why we need to get to know each other. Just on a side note, this is something that I learned personally as I was going through finding the right voice teacher for me at different parts of my life. It is really a good idea to give yourself at least 2 to 3 months of voice lessons, consistent voice lessons. That means you need to be consistent too, to see how it really works so that you can get an idea of the communication, the vocabulary, get to know each other's personalities. Teacher needs to get to know your personality, whether or not you're shy, you're very outgoing, whether you're really gung-ho or whether you're really nervous, but you're here and you want to do it. So we have to gauge and we have to adjust our teaching to hopefully make it accessible for you so that you can feel confident and encouraged through this journey of music. So you're standing tall, don't tense up. That's the tricky part. You might be a little bit nervous, but just relax. Your shoulders are high. If you're not quite sure if you're standing with a high posture, a good straight posture, because not everybody can feel what they're doing, look at a mirror. Happen to have a mirror right here. Look at it. See yourself. Are you slouched? Are you tense? If you'd like some guidance, here's a little exercise that you could do even for normally, but raise your shoulders up, pull them back and down. And that helps give you a nice, good, straight posture. Let's do it again. 1, 2, and 3. It's also quite relaxing, right? Okay, you can do this. These are one of the exercises that we would do just when you're playing sports or if you're going to exercise, right? And go the other way. Plus, it's just good. You need to relax. You're going to be nervous. Unless you're used to it, then you're not. But if it's your first time, yeah, you'll probably be a little bit nervous. Okay, so you've done your streak up, back, and relax. Now what happens is often we have an arch. When we're standing tall, we think about arching. You don't want to arch, so you want to bring your belly in and you want to relax your hips. Okay? One of my teachers used to call it the Elvis pelvis because you want your hips hitched. Imagine sitting down. When you're about to sit down, you can't sit straight with your arched back, right? It will hurt. So think about relaxing, and that's the posture that you want to have as you are just starting. Relax, legs unlocked, and shoulders back. Now let's breathe. When you breathe, I'm going to just call this the 4-6-8 method. Okay? Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold it for 6. Now, when you release it, let it go slowly. I'm going to give you something to think about every time we do this. When you breathe in, try to make it a quiet breath, and we'll just start there. Quiet breath. So which is a loud breath, quiet breath. Let's do it for 4 seconds. Now you're going to hold it. Now when you're holding it out, it's almost like somebody wants to tickle you and your stomach is staying tight because you're holding your breath. That's how it's going to feel, and that's okay. You're engaging your muscles. So allow that feeling. That's a good feeling. Now we're going to let the sound out for, what did I say, 6 or 8? 8 seconds or 8 beats. Now, in order to do this, you need to hold on to those muscles that are sort of tight and engaged, and slowly let it out. Now, let's relax your body. Take another breath. Hold it. Now this time, as you breathe out, make sure everything's relaxed here in your mouth. Get it? Just relax. This helps us, first of all, to calm down. Second, it's starting to bring your awareness to your instrument and your breath. There's more things that I could talk about, but I'm going to keep it really straightforward. And we'll address those things little by little. We are now going to think about inhaling on a vowel like the ah. So instead of ah, the way you would say it, you're thinking about it when you breathe in. It kind of gives you the idea or the feeling of surprise, almost like a yawn. If you start to yawn, that's okay. That's a good thing. But let's inhale on an ah. Ready? For 4 beats. Hold it. Release. but hold it out. You might have more air because now that you're holding it and you're not releasing it all at once, there's still air there. So you just hold it out and then relax your body. This is going to come in handy when we complete a phrase and we hold it to the very end and we don't think about just falling off of a cliff. So all of these are foundational things that will help you as you start your singing process. One more time. In for 4, quiet, all. Hold it. While you're holding it, release, but don't let it all come out like a whoopee cushion. You still have more? Hold it. Release. Very, very good. Try not to tense up as you do this. We're just kind of getting an idea of breathing because this is what it'll be like when we sing. So we thought about that awe. Now we're going to actually sing an awe. One of the things that we want to make sure that you can do is match the pitch. So I might give you just a 2-note exercise. If you're familiar with the Sound of Music and you've heard of a song called Do, Re, Mi, Do, a deer, a female deer, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. Those are the pitches that we'll use, but we'll generally warm up on an ah. But I just want you to understand that we are singing these pitches in a specific order from 1 to 8, which is called the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. This is just going to be Do, Re, Do. But we're not going to worry about singing that. We're just going to sing on Ah. Ah. Here we go. So you're going to take that breath, hold it, and then as you release your sound, you still keep holding that out, and then we're going to sing. When that chord changes, that's your cue to breathe calmly and quietly. And then we sing again. Breathe, that's your cue. Hold it. When you are attending a voice lesson, the teacher will have you sing as high as you can go and as low as you can go. This gives us an idea of your range. Now we can get an idea of, through that information, we can ascertain how to also strengthen and guide you so that you can sing higher and lower. So we can stretch your range and grow your range. We'll also get an idea of your current tessitura, where it feels the most comfortable. And that's the beginning, at least, of warm-ups in a voice lesson. At this point, it will depend on if we've chosen a song, but let's assume we have not chosen a song yet. So while we work on just warming up and making sure we can repeat a pitch properly and correctly, the next step is going to be to learn a little bit about music notation, like the beat, okay? The beat is stable, it's steady, like your heartbeat. Boom, 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 like a clock, tick, tock, tick, tock. That beat is it's like the glue that holds everything together. So we want to keep a beat as we sing, so we'll try another exercise that does that. And we might try a different vowel. So with that inhalation of an ah, we're going to actually say Z, but we're going to think of a bigger space inside. And this is going to be a 3-note exercise. Hopefully you did well with the 2-note. C. See how I'm keeping a beat? I'm tapping my foot, but I'm also patting patting my leg. C, So the notes are moving, but we're still maintaining a steady beat. So the notes moving will be the rhythm. The beat is, again, the glue that is holding everything together, just to give you some basic music information, which you probably know, but in this context. Not to say all of our warm-ups are going to be with a strict beat, because sometimes we might be doing something, and that's a little bit different. So the exercises will get progressively more challenging, because they should, because as you grow, you will be capable of doing more. That's the way it goes, and good for you. That's what you want. Okay, so we will learn a little bit about music notation, and that is something that also, again, we ascertain in the lesson. So as you see, that's why it's great to have a virtual instructor, but it's also great to have somebody right there who says, "Ooh, okay, we need to understand more about your rhythm. Maybe you're not counting the way that you need to, and that's something that we need to address as we go through the music," and what have you. Okay, then we get to the music. But even before that, we need to think about singing and our minds and our approach. So when we are speaking, we speak in a very short way, especially if you're from the US, right? We kind of are a little bit on the lazy side with our speech patterns. I'm going to go here, we're going to do this, and we cut everything off. We sort of taper it off at the end. I mean, most languages can't do that, sure, but in general, we don't tend to really extend like Italians, right? Como sta, sta bene, right? So we don't tend to hold out our sound. Well, we need to rethink that when you're approaching singing, because sound travels through what? Consonants or vowels? Can it travel through a T? No. But can it travel through an ah? Ah. Okay. So now we need to combine the two. You take your consonant, but you elongate the vowel. Ta, ta, ta. Okay, so we could just take one pitch. This is our exercise, our third exercise. Ta, and we'll use ta just for fun, because it is a T and an ah. Now remember, the ah is what you inhaled on. And now when you when you start to pronounce the T, be careful not to clench. This is going to be the challenging part. In singing, you need everything to flow. Well, if you're really tense, then it makes it challenging for your sound to flow. If we're like ta, ta, then it's going to create some strain and it won't feel as free. So think about your tongue and your teeth slightly touching while you hold that big space, like a big yawn. Ah, ah, ah. Let's do that together. Ready? Ah, ah, ah. Now add a T. Ta, ta, ta. Now if you notice, the T was separate from the ah, ta. Now think about it as one. Ta, ta, ta. That means this is kind of relaxed and open, even though you're saying ta. It takes a little bit practice. If you're not used to doing this, don't worry. Give it time. Here we go. Breathe on the ah. Inhale on the ah. Hold it. Ta, ta, ta. 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 Do you feel a sense of freedom as you're singing? That's what you want. You don't want it to feel tight. You don't want it to feel like it's an unachievable sound. You want it to be relaxed. You want it to flow. And that's one way to do it. And this gets us looking at our sound, our sung sound, different as our spoken sound. because as you see, as I'm speaking, it's very short. Also, it seems like it's here, right? That my words are coming out of my mouth while I'm articulating, but the sound is really where? Your ears? Your chest? No. Your vocal folds. Right below your jaw, in the larynx. The larynx protects the vocal folds. So that's where the sound actually is created. It's coming from here, even though we are using our mouth as a megaphone. Ah! So that's important to understand as well, is a little bit of the anatomy of the voice. So, and this is, again, voice lesson 101. So we're just getting started. But you can use any vowel, and I suggest you do use any vowel. Use P. Pa, pa, pa. Use an S. Sa, sa, sa. Sa, sa, sa. Use a K. Ka, 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 ka. Careful, ka. You don't want to tense it up. Think about relaxing into that vowel. Ka, 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 la, 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 va, 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 va. So as you see, we're starting really, really simple. One vowel, introducing consonants. We haven't even gotten to an E, and I, O, U, and not the vowel, the letters, the vowels, A, E, I, O, U. So that is, I would say, a really good introduction to what you should be thinking about when you have a voice lesson, or how I approach voice lessons for sure. Again, everybody is awesome. Everybody wants you to be amazing, and so do I. You are going to, I'm very intense on wanting to make sure that you are doing awesome. So we will take more time with that. And then after that, we can mix the vowels up and consonants up. But for your first voice lesson, you may or may not sing a song. That's just the way it might be. And that's okay. You're just getting started. There's, as you can see, there's a little bit to learn. So this will conclude our first voice lesson 101. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next one.